Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to another English class here on verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and in this hour we're going to be having a conversation, and the topic is artificial intelligence. So I put together a short little document just throwing up some questions, some information about artificial intelligence. And this is a theme that I've been having. We've had a couple of classes already. We listened to some things about it. We've read some articles. So it's definitely a current topic. It's in the news. People are talking about it. Researchers are developing new technologies every day. So it's definitely something of importance to a lot of people now and, of course, in the future. And so it's an interesting topic because it's going to change the way people live. So if you have a reservation, you can join now. If you don't have a reservation but you want to join, just click on the Join Class button as soon as you see it. And as people come in, I will say hi and check everybody's microphone, make sure it's working, and then we will get started with our conversation here. So hi guys. Hi David.
Hi Lisa, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
Starting my weekend, so it's okay.
Yeah, nice. Wonderful. Okay, and Elena, how are you doing?
Sorry, yes.
There you go.
Okay. I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Did you have a good week?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, a normal one, but
Normal. Okay, nothing special.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing. All right, Hamid, you want to talk about robots?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course. Okay, and Harold. Welcome, Harold.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Awesome. Okay, well, welcome to class. And Wilson, how are you, Wilson?
Hi, I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Wilson, where are you calling from?
I am from Bogota, Colombia.
Bogota. Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, well, welcome everybody. And let's see, Greg's joining us as well. So, hi there, Greg.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Okay, guys, so in this hour, I wanted to really give you guys a chance to talk. I will kind of facilitate it, and just because we have more people, I might call on you and kind of facilitate it that way, so we're not all talking at once. But I want to make sure that you have lots of opportunities to speak and express yourself. And the topic is artificial intelligence. So like I have said, I've had a couple of classes lately on this. We've read a couple of articles. We've had a little bit of a discussion, but usually when we read an article, it takes most of the time that we have during the hour. Before we start, I just want to go over a couple little things so we have some common information about this, and then I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? What do you know about it? What do you want to know about it? That type of thing. So what is artificial intelligence? So I just took this. This is just like what it says on the computer on Google. So artificial intelligence is the intelligence exhibited or shown by machines or software. It is an academic field of study which studies the goal of creating intelligence. So usually we think of humans as having intelligence, and that is what has allowed us to do all these amazing things. We are born, and we have a brain, and then we learn and we grow, and we are able to do things. And so now they're trying to figure out, can machines, like robots, or software, the programs that people create, but can a software program actually learn? That's kind of the idea. Can it become intelligent itself? And so there are some goals that these people who research artificial intelligence, and I just pulled these from these are some of the main headings that you see in Wikipedia. So deduction, reasoning, problem solving, can a computer or a robot or a program, can it can it do this? You know, can we program it so that it actually starts to do all these things? Representing knowledge, can it plan? Can it learn things? What about natural language processing? We already know that they're trying to figure out, you know, machines that you talk into it in Spanish and then it can put out English. So we don't even need language classes anymore. We'll just have a computer translate for us in real time. What about things like perception? Can a robot or a computer program perceive things like we do? Motion and manipulation, that's what robots do now. They can be used to make things and manipulate things. But what about these other things like social intelligence, getting along with, I don't know, other humans, other machines? Can they be creative, like a musician, like an artist, like a writer? And in terms of general intelligence. So those are some of the main things they're trying to see if artificial intelligence can achieve. This would be the goal. These would be the goals. And right now we already see artificial intelligence in terms of game playing, like playing chess. They can already beat the masters of chess. Recognizing speech, like Siri, for example, on the iPhone, can recognize your speech and talk back to you. Maybe if you saw the movie Her, that was something like that. The operating system would talk back to the guy. Can the machines understand natural language? Computer vision, this would be like Google Glass or something like that, you know, being able to see. And expert systems, can we tap into expert knowledge, you know, in terms of for doctors and things like that. And heuristic classification, classifying information in different ways. So we already know that artificial intelligence is being used for different technologies. And some people think it's awesome and wonderful, and some people have worries or concerns. So, David, you already have a robot working for you. How's that going for you?
Okay, it's cleaning my house.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna share you a picture. Let me
Okay.
find Roomba iRobot.
So you're up to date with your technology. You're
Yeah,
not afraid.
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, but I have to admit that this machine is completely stupid.
Okay, it's not very intelligent, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And this Roomba, so he has the Roomba vacuum cleaner, and well, does it do a good job though?
Well, sometimes it's a little bit stupid. For instance, he's near the door to change the room, and suddenly he turns over and come back. No, please go away. Go to the other room. So I have to put my feet
Uh-huh.
in order to change the course and guide it to another room. But generally, it's okay. I can start my Roomba before going to the supermarket, for example, and okay, at the end the house is is clean.
Really?
So
Wow.
it works. It works.
Yeah, and it gives the cats a ride too.
I don't have a cat, but yeah, it's funny for them.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting. So basically, it will vacuum any kind of surface. Like if you put it on the ground, it'll go on wood floors or carpet or tile. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. It depends on the model, of course. You know,
Okay.
I will have one more or less cheap. It's less intelligent and less powerful than others, but
Okay.
My Roomba is able to climb the carpets, or even I have a chair. It the legs of the chair. I don't know how to describe.
Yeah, the legs of the chair. Yeah.
There are not only 4 points touching the floor.
Yeah.
It's like an ski, for example, and it's able to jump.
Oh,
over
okay.
the ski. Yeah.
Oh, you have like a rocking chair maybe or something? A rocking chair it doesn't have 4 legs. It has like a rocking. thing like this.
Yes, more or less, yes.
Something like that. Okay, so it can jump over that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
cool.
it loses the traction. So
Yeah.
when the robot loses the traction, it's okay. I'm done, and he just stops. So I need to push. Okay, and start again, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
my little pet.
All right. Well, okay, good. So in terms of cleaning, we already have robots that can do cleaning for us. And yeah, you just have to, you don't even have to be home. And you just turn it on and it does its job. So that's pretty cool. All right. So let's start with the big one here. What are some of the ethical concerns about artificial intelligence? So, Elena, I want to start with you because I know that you're an expert on this topic of ethics and philosophy.
No, not at all. Not at all. And let's in a so difficult issue as that. But well, I don't know. I think there are two types of concerns.
Okay.
One is a very general and highly philosophical concern about what intelligence means, and if a machine can be somehow human in the future, not
Yeah.
now. And usually people is very people don't like that because when I talk with some people about this issue that I'm very interested in fact, the first reaction is to deny it, to say no. Why? Because human are human, and a machine never can be intelligence. Or if you talk about another question, but is related about emotions, no, a machine never would have emotions. And at the same time, people is very worried about that, because if a robot grows intelligence or emotions, they are going to be evil creatures that are going to take the control of the world, and they
Yeah.
may make us slaves and that kind of thing. Yes, but I think that's what most people think. And there's another kind of ethical concerns that I think are more interesting but more difficult, because you have to know something about it, and I don't know almost anything about artificial intelligence. And I don't know, just an example. Intelligent robots in war.
In war.
Yes. May a robot be able to kill somebody autonomously? Or,
Yeah.
for example, I think that question is much more interesting than the others one, but we must to think about the other great general philosophic issues as well. So well, I don't know,
Right.
but most of people hates the idea of robots taking control over the world.
Well, we could say that's a scary proposition, the idea of robots controlling humans, because like David's saying in the chat, he wants to make sure we understand the difference here. A machine is just like some metal, chunks of metal, shaped in certain ways or something, but the software is what drives that piece of metal or whatever it is. And so it's the software that at first is programmed by a human, but the idea would be that if it became intelligent on its own, so that it actually learns things on its own. At some point, then, I think, David, that's where the ethical concern comes in. Is at some point will humans lose the ability to control the machine because the software itself now has become so intelligent that it's making its own decisions. Like Elena mentioned, like can a robot, which is a machine, which is controlled by a program, software that some human created, but maybe if it becomes intelligent, will it at some point make its own decisions that don't have anything to do with what we want them to do, you know? Like the Roomba, you can kick it around and turn it off and do this kind of thing, but at some point, will it be able to do what it wants? Yeah. Greg, what do you think about this? Do you have any concerns about artificial intelligence, or what do you think might be some ethical concerns? And when we say ethical, just to keep it simple, we're just talking about like right and wrong. Like, should it do this? Should it not? What's the impact on people, the environment, even maybe, you know, our way of life?
Yeah. So one of the things that I was looking at this text that you mentioned about it is probably the communication with other people. So computer can communicate with other person. And one of the crimes that you could be used if actually computer can be used in this ways, then can actually imitate someone voice, speech, the way how he speaks and stuff like that. So one of the crimes is like in Poland was when someone just called to grandmother or grandfather. They said they are in financial trouble and they have problems. So I can imagine that if, for example, this kind of improvements will be added to some kind of programs that can be used to just, you know, someone just leave the meeting business, he answer the phone, and later he hear that, oh, you have to, you know, we need, I don't know, $10,000 on this project, and can you just send the money on this account and stuff like that? So it could be done in this way.
Yeah, so that would be like for scamming people. We call that to scam somebody means to trick them into giving you money or something like that.
On the other hand, if we observe the progress in terms of translating things, like one of the things is Google Translate is not really perfect, but if we add things like, I don't know, Grammarly to it, which can actually check many stuff, which is application that correct texts, we can add this and maybe like, I don't know, that's what we see on iPhone, but it was rather quite confusing because I know that this program had some problems. For example, Scottish people said this program doesn't understand them.
Siri, it didn't pick up the accent.
Yeah, so it's probably a long way to go, but maybe in the next 10 years, 12 years, 20 years, people just look at this and think, okay, so we need everything what we need to make, you know, the crime that could be made in simple way. Without thinking too much about it. So. Yeah.
Right. That's certainly one of the ethical concerns would be the use. You know, who gets to decide, you know, how it's going to be used? That's the question there I had next. But, you know, if people use it for good or for bad purposes. Hamid, do you have any concerns about people and how they will use this technology, or even the idea about this technology getting away from us? Do you know what that means, getting away from our control?
Yes, I know. Yesterday I saw an interesting Facebook picture. In that picture says, with a smartphone, everybody started to be lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, there are some applications and there are some softwares for the smartphone. Smartphones are created by artificial intelligence. So people don't save some information to their brains because they are trusting to the phone. The phone works behalf of me. So why do I think so much? I don't care. But on the other hand, if we do some activities, it can be good our brains. For example, to learn language or to do some activities for our brains, we can develop our brains. So I think it is the one most important worries for people, because people started to be lazy, but we should be careful for that.
Well, that is an interesting thing, because we have to see, is it true? You know, like maybe even some children these days, they think, why do I have to learn that? I just have to look it up. I don't have to remember this or really know it. And I think, yeah, I saw something like that too, just yesterday or something, talking about like phone numbers. You know, we used to remember lots of people's phone numbers, and now we don't have to even know their phone number, because it's just like touch a screen with their name, and then it dials the phone number. Yeah.
Yes, and with your example, the students or the children start to be lazier. I mean, for example, there is some applications like a calculator. They make some mathematical functions with that. They cannot make from their minds. For example, 2 plus 2. What is that? What is the result? They cannot remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Elena doesn't see a problem with becoming lazy, though. Elena, is that okay with you?
I love it.
Yeah. Why do we have to learn all this stuff anyway?
Yes, on the other hand, I watched one TED video. In that video, the representer person says, maybe in near future we will see some info pills. It means we will take some pills, for example, Spanish pill. Then I will start to learn Spanish easily.
People would probably like that.
Yes, so it is crazy, but a good idea for me.
Yeah. So maybe artificial intelligence will help us bypass the hard work of learning. Like, you know, we're learning like languages, math, science. These things we consider them difficult. You know, they take time, that kind of thing. So maybe people would prefer to just know. There's a video here, I'm going to put it in the link. That TED Talk there is about how in the future human intelligence will use artificial intelligence. So we're going to kind of like use our brain together with the cloud, so we can access information automatically.
For that point, I think the scientists discovered the human again, because there are some points for that. For example, last week or before, I read some information about the brain. The brain doesn't. The brain isn't being known so much. So we should know more and more for that.
Well, and some of the books that I'm reading a book called Brain Bugs, meaning how our brain has flaws or problems. And so a lot of times our brain is actually not that great, like remembering things. Our memories are, sometimes we don't remember things very well, and that's why some people get convicted of a crime that they didn't even commit, and they end up in jail because somebody said they saw this person, and really they didn't, because their memory wasn't very good. So yeah, interesting. Let's go to Harold. Harold, what do you think? Do you have any concerns about the use of artificial intelligence? Is it going to get out of control? Can humans make sure we control it?
Well, I think that one of the ethical concerns is that someday the robots will replace us. All the things that we do, they will do. So it will make us less intelligent, less hardworking.
Mhm.
So that's what I think.
Yeah. So the question then becomes, what are we going to do? Like, if the robots or the machines, the software can do all the things that we used to do, what are humans going to be needed for? Yeah, that's
So
interesting. Yeah, Harold, go ahead.
yeah, that's the questions, but we haven't opened our eyes, and the technology is increasing in our house. That's good, but sometimes it will become maybe bad for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't know yet, but there's certainly some concerns there. Moises, what about you? Do you think there are some concerns that we need to be aware of, or is this something that we should welcome for the future?
I think is we should welcome because it's a development of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Technology always helps humans to make life easier,
Mm-hmm.
so we should welcome. I don't think that in the future robots will be able to think for us
Mm.
because they don't have brain. We can program robots to do repetitive things or repetitive models,
Mm-hmm.
but we cannot. It's impossible to create a machine that think for us. They can
Mm-hmm.
do things that you have programmed already, but they cannot. I don't think they cannot make decisions.
Yeah. Well, not yet, but that's one of the things that I think, and we'll ask David in a minute, but I think that's one of the goals, is to make it so that the software can learn. So a human being will program it to begin with, but the whole idea is that the software itself will be able to learn, and it will become like a brain or something. So yeah, I don't fully understand it. I'm not a scientist or a computer programmer, but that seems to be what they're hoping to do. Asma, what do you think about this artificial intelligence? Do you have any concerns about it, or what do you know about it?
Yeah, teacher. Okay, I agree that there are some positive effects of artificial intelligence, but also there are some negative effects, such as maybe my classmate said before. It's we are depending on technology, the
Mm-hmm.
computers, cell phone. So currently, I cannot give up using computers, some applications, new technology.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel sometimes that we will be stupid people. You know, we rely only on technology. So that's why, for example, we can if you use too much Google Translation, I think when we stop using Google Translation, we will will be shocked by what we write or many yeah um, dictation mistakes, dictation, maybe grammar.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and also on the other hand, less communication, new technology,
Mm.
um, what we say, uh, on train or generate social isolation.
Mm. Social isolation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isolation. Yeah, means less contact with other people
Yes.
uh, in daily living. Also, healthy problem.
Mm-hmm.
Too much spending time in video games or talking through the social media. Okay, there are some communication, but we spend a lot of time
Mm-hmm.
talking with friends. online, or so I think it's another point. Obesity can be negative effects of this of new technology or artificial technology.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting that you mentioned that, because I just saw this online the other day. A video gamer guy in Taiwan died after 3 days of playing. They call it a gaming binge. So he was apparently sitting he was at an internet cafe too. He was 32 years old, so not a teenager, but he was just sitting there day after day, and he's the second one to have died already this year. So that just what you just said, some people spend so much time interacting with technology that it's already harmful to them. Yeah. Okay, David, what do you think? Maybe you're the most experienced guy here because you are a computer programmer, so you work on writing programs. Do you think that it will be in the near future that the software will be able to learn and do more things?
Well, actually, the artificial intelligence software already learns, already is able to learn. I'm gonna give you a little example. It was the example that my artificial intelligence teacher told me at the university.
Okay.
Imagine a chess game player. It's a machine, and it has uh, several equations with variables and constants. And after each movement, the machine calculates which is the status of the game. So to know, what is the status in terms of the own machine. I mean, I did a good movement or I did a bad movement. So analyzing these results is able to modify the constants of the equation. So it's learning, because if I did a good movement, I'm gonna modify my constants in my equation. If I did a bad movement, I'm gonna modify again my constant in the equation to make a better movement for the next movement. So they are able to learn nowadays, but okay, it's not a real knowledge. It's like, okay, I'm able to analyze my status, and is that better? But it's always related to a mathematical formula. So I mean, the machines are not able to think about themselves so far.
So far,
So,
yeah, right. They don't have self-awareness.
Yeah, my concern is not related to machines. It's related to human beings. Because if we create something able to think by himself or by itself, we will be the guilty.
Yes. Well,
so I'm not afraid about a machine that is able to think, okay, my movement or something, I don't know, a car which is able to detect other cars and brake if you are not braking. It's fantastic. And actually, I have here my notes. In order to, Alan Turing was one of the best mathematicians in the 20th century. He was one of the fathers of the computer science. He defined the Alan Turing tests. And they say the machines will be like a human when the first machine passes this test. The test is very simple. Is you are in front of a computer in a room alone, and you have to chat with something. You don't know if you are chatting with a human being or with a machine. So you have to chat. If you are able to distinguish if you are talking to a machine or talking to a human being, the machine failed the test.
Yeah.
So far, any machine has been able to do that. I read last week after your class related with the same topic. There was a machine that passes in Russia, but the source is not more reliable, so I didn't think so. So as far as I know, any machine has been able to pass the Alan Turing test. So
Yeah.
I'm confident so far.
But did you watch the movie Her? Because that's what that was kind of about. Is in the movie Her, he was talking to the operating system, and it was like he was in a relationship with her, but just in terms of communicating, talking, not, of course, touching each other or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when one machine was able to think by itself and be self-conscious,
Yeah.
okay, we have a big problem, or we can have it, but we are the guilty of that situation. We will be the guilty of that. Our responsibility as developers, in my case, is okay. I have to put one limit, and of course, always install a off button just in case.
But I think that goes perfectly into the next question, and I think that's the hardest question, which is going to be who gets to decide how AI will be used. Because let's just take, for example, you, David. If you're a very responsible programmer, and you create a program, and you have some kind of maybe limit that you could set in, that computer, even if as it grows intelligent, it's not going to pass something, maybe something like, if people know Asimov, Isaac Asimov, he wrote, and there was the I think the laws, I didn't read it, but I read recently about the laws of robotics, what the robots can or can't do. But who gets to decide that? So let's go back to Elena. Elena, what do you think? Like, should it be the researchers? Should it be the government? Should we get to vote on what we want this artificial intelligence to be able to do? Like, who gets to decide these things?
I think the answer is informed people, informed population, not experts, not just experts, but informed people, everybody, but not just like voting, or because that's well, no, not that kind of way to decide. But we have to be informed, and we have to pressure our governments, or even and our researchers and our scientists. And that's very difficult, because I know that is very similar to saying nothing. But yes, but it's the only answer I can think of. And I wanted to say something to David. I don't like the word guilty. In fact, I think artificial intelligence is a gorgeous thing, a marvelous thing. Although, of course, we have to be responsible, not guilty, because even if we get really intelligent robots, what is bad about that? I think it's great. If we have intelligent robots, perhaps they could teach us a lot of things. And yes, of course.
Yeah. You can have a robotic language teacher.
I don't know, but it's a new world. It's marvelous. I'm never bored, because I have always something new to learn. So if I will have more time, and if we in a similar way, I'm learning a lot with the internet. If the internet were intelligent, that is not. Well, it would be great. I think it could be a new world, but and we have to be responsible of some of the issues. For example, and that's just an example. What I said before. should we allow robots kill humans without human supervision? And that is a very, very concrete question.
Yeah.
And of course, I think we don't we don't have to allow that. But I think I would like to have a robot mate, and why not?
Somebody to
Some people love dogs. I can't understand that,
well,
but some people do so, and they are intelligent as well in their way. So, well,
I'm going to tell you. I saw a video in Japan. In fact, they're using robots as companions already in some like hospitals. I think for elderly people, maybe people who are lonely that don't have any family or something. And they robot doesn't have to look like a person or something, but they also look like animals, like dogs and things like that.
Yes.
So they are already doing that for companionship and helping people with like depression and other things. Yeah.
For autism, for example, there are some researches that show that can be very, very useful for autists people.
Autistic, yeah.
Autistic people, and they can help them to start a relationship, not just with the android or the robot, but with human beings as well. So yes, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, I have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. I agree with Elena. I mean, we have a lot of possibilities to make fantastic things with artificial intelligence, but I'm very pessimistic. I'm crossing the line. I'm beginning to think about in a philosophical way, and unfortunately, I think that someone, especially for military purposes, someone will create something that we shouldn't create.
Like marching drones or something.
Yep.
Soldiers,
I
robotic
definitely
soldiers.
recommend you Battlestar Galactica. It's a fantastic, fantastic TV show. It's quite old. It's 10 years ago, more or less. It's about related to this topic, and it's completely amazing. And it's just like that. The human being creates a machine, and the machine rebels, and it's a disaster. Yeah, it's a disaster. Or Terminator, for example. Terminator is another example of the same. For military purposes, the human being created a machine who was able to, and boom. So I'm pessimistic because I know human being sometimes is evil. So
yeah, that's an interesting thing. Humans, we have all these different feelings, emotions, intentions, and so maybe you have evil intentions. And I wonder, would a robot become an evil robot on its own, or would it only have to be influenced by a human to become evil, for example?
But maybe I can program a drone only to kill people.
Yeah, but that would be the human, though, right? That would be the human who programmed it.
Yeah, for that reason, I say we will be the guilty.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of who gets to decide who has this technology. Just like, right now we are deciding as a global community, you could say, some people are deciding who should be allowed to have nuclear weapons and who shouldn't be allowed. Some people think nobody should be allowed to have nuclear weapons, but yet some countries do. So there's not agreement. We don't have agreement. So we have even possible wars over this type of thing, weapons of mass destruction kind of stuff, Let's let some other people talk here. Greg, what do you think about this? Who should decide, and how do we decide?
Well, actually, I cannot really say that someone will decide, because probably nobody will decide about the practical usage of this if it will become public in any form.
Mm.
Yeah, so we can say that people think in terms of some kind of rules and stuff like that, and we see it every day. You cannot, I don't know, rip this DVD on this operating system. And people say, yes, you can. Here's the patch that you can just buy and do it. And this kind of works.
Right, exactly.
So if we think about the human nature of the human, about what he thinks about other people and what he can do, actually, if someone says to him that you want to decide, it doesn't matter. People just want to check if they can change something. So for some people, I noticed that it's like a drugs. If you cannot broke something, it will be probably a failure for somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, go ahead.
if, for example, if there is, I don't know, robots, or I don't know if some will be machines that help you to imitate human behavior, human voice, and stuff like and many other things, I think the people just look at the device and they see what can be changed in the side of it.
Yeah.
So it's not, I think the world control automatically for many people is equal to we have to change it. We have to change the meaning of this word, that we will be controlled by us, or actually there will be any control. People just be modify this kind of machines, robots, and stuff. It doesn't matter if it will be a government, other country, it will be normal user. I think the desire of changing things is far more greatly than we think.
Yeah. Well, we already know that happens. And for example, just last night I was watching for the first time the Godfather movie, and so right there you always have people making their own rules, doing what they want, even if it's supposedly against the law or something. So yeah, hard to control humans. Sebastian's coming up with some good points in the Verblink chat there. The idea of would a robot decide that anything is evil, or because presumably a robot wouldn't have morals, perhaps. I don't know. Moral obligations for things. Hamet, what do you think about this? You want peace.
Yes, I want peace. Also, I think people ask for themselves firstly, and I think we should establish the equality in the world. I mean, the religion and the other factors should be in the second plan. The first plan, we should be equal with some ways. There is no exception, or there is no one country on the upside. I mean, let's think United Nations. But there are some exceptions for that organization. I mean, if there are 193 countries, every country should be in equal. Because sometimes some countries decide to something. If they say, okay, I don't agree, so the other countries only watch them. I think it is not good for the peace of the world.
For the world. Yeah, and we can't even do that now, so that's pretty. That's a pretty tall order. We say a tall order is something that is difficult for humans to do. Harold, what do you think? Who should be in charge of deciding how this technology will be used in the future?
Well, the government should take the decisions. They should do the correct things, but when there is money in front, so they won't take the correct decision. They will allow everything. So I think that the who has to decide how the artificial intelligence will be used is it will start in our families. For example, my sister had a cell phone, a smart cell phone, and she was using that every time. We were eating at the dinner, and she was
Yeah.
with her cell phone.
Yeah.
So and the last week it didn't work, the cell phone. So my
Oh.
mother said to her that she wouldn't buy any cell phone to her.
Yeah.
So that's an example. So everything should start in our family.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that goes back to what Asma was saying too about interacting so much with technologies, and we do that already. And then when we don't have that technology, what do
Yeah,
humans do? Yeah.
I think that the rule of thumb
Mhm.
is don't depend on technology. If you
Aha.
depend on technology, you will lose everything. So
Mhm. Mhm.
you should know how to control it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because as we're talking about, who should control it, David, even your comment or Hamid, sorry, your comment about uh, the new HoloLens, it really a lot of this is the market. The market is driving this technology, meaning if people didn't care, like nobody wanted to have robots, nobody wanted to have more help this way or something, then nobody would pay money to do it. But apparently enough humans are interested in developing new technologies because we go out and we buy the latest iPhone. We want the newest technology and we pay a lot of money for it. So maybe it will have to be humans deciding to live a different life and not just buy all these products. Moises, what do you think about it? Who's going to decide? Who should decide about this technology?
Well, I think if it's something related to danger or security reasons, the government should establish laws
Mm-hmm.
to prevent dangers.
Mm-hmm.
But however, if it's something that is good for society, like for example, creating robots to heal people from disease,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then they shouldn't be
Banned or something.
banned. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and you always have people who love new technology, and you always have people who are afraid of it, or just don't like it. They don't want that kind of lifestyle. So it's always a diversity of humans. Asma, what do you think? How should we handle this? What should people do about this? Just let people do whatever they want, or should we make rules and laws, and how will we even enforce them?
I think that many government aware about the about the important role of the new technology. Uh, and so that's why they spend a lot of money in search, in scientific search.
Yeah.
So I think this is the government should be aware about the norm, how things is going, means to take care about or to take in consideration culture,
Mm-hmm.
uh, ethical,
Yeah.
ethical, yeah, uh, really can means really can improve life or make life difficult. So it's something needs more efforts to calculate or to decide if it's benefit for life or no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think the weakest one is the consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because consumers follow what happened in the world. Means, for
Mm-hmm.
example, now I cannot say no. I will not use my computer.
Yeah.
They will say I'm stupid.
You
you know,
yeah, right.
yeah. So I think that consumer will be the weakest one if he will not follow the new technology So it's very, very, very difficult to say yes. I will choose to decide. I will choose this new technology or no. To use this technology or no.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not the role of the consumer. It's because it's very difficult. But I think the role of engineer, of the government, of people who create this technology.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to say to detect the impact
The impact.
carefully
Yeah.
of the new
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing because a lot of times research is done first for the military, for example, and the military is doing all kinds of research for new technologies, and then it moves into the consumer area, like the drones. Like you can buy a drone now if you want to play around with a drone and fly one around, take pictures and stuff, videos. But that was developed because of the military use of it. But I think you're right, Asma. I think consumers potentially or theoretically have a lot of power to buy or not buy certain technologies, but they're so powerful that somebody who says no, I'm not going to use a cell phone because I don't want that kind of world, they kind of are left out of life, modern day life, so
Yeah.
it's
For
kind of
example,
like doesn't work.
pilotless. Yeah, it's used in military. But for example, if I have to choose, I cannot ride on pilot with on plane without pilot. Because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I cannot trust technology to fly me to another country.
Yeah.
But if
That's interesting.
all plans will be like this without pilot, I'm obliged to no choice to ride the plane without pilot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. People used to think flying was crazy, and now people do it every day. And yeah, who knows what will be normal? We say the new normal, what that will be in the future. So we have to get. I remember reading one time that when people first started flying on airplanes, they had to have those bags because everybody was vomiting. They were throwing up because it was so new and so scary. And now they do have them on the airplanes, but very few people need to use them, and they don't necessarily use them because they're so nervous. Maybe they're just sick, so I don't know. It's interesting what humans adapt to. So we'll see. Well, you guys, thanks for coming. We used up all our time, and we still didn't even talk about what happens if they take over work. And Elena, what will we do all day if we don't have to work anymore? And maybe what will the economy look like? And all this type of stuff. Many things to talk about. Thanks, guys, for coming, and have a great weekend.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye. Thank
Take
you.
care,
Bye.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Talk to
Goodbye.
you soon. Take care. Bye.